Mr. President, I think everyone recognizes that the Honorable the Finance Minister is perhaps the most harassed individual in India today. Ever since he assumed charge of his portfolio, he has been engaged in a desperate struggle against a situation created partly by the financial policy thrust upon the country by his predecessor and partly by the collapse of currency and credit throughout the world. Everyone watches with sympathy the Honorable the Finance Minister grappling with problems which are not of his own creation and concedes that so far as he is concerned, he is doing his best to serve the country whose salt he is eating. But when my honorable friend expects the opposition to suspend its judgment, to spare criticism, and to offer nothing but constructive criticism in some measure, I think he is asking for the impossible. I see my honorable friend sitting day after day with an air of resignation, sometimes of extreme boredom, and often of pained surprise that human nature should be so perverse that his critics should not recognize his integrity of purpose and the difficulties by which he is surrounded. The other day, in moving the consideration of the finance bill, he asked his critics to face realities. He asked them not to indulge in destructive criticisms. When he made this appeal to the House, may I point out to him that he forgot the constitution under which we are working. He seems to have entirely overlooked the fact that year in and year out, this side of the House, whether in the reformed legislature or in the pre-reform era, has been making suggestions by the cartload, good, bad, and indifferent, only to find them all rejected unceremoniously. And I ask my honorable friend, what possible encouragement has he or any of his predecessors or anybody on the government benches given to this side of the House to offer constructive criticism? I will make my honorable friend a sporting offer now. Let him withdraw the budget, and we on this side of the House are prepared to produce a budget in which the revenue and expenditure will be equally balanced, without many of the objectionable features of taxation which he has introduced in his budget. Is my honorable friend prepared to accept that offer? Is my honorable friend prepared to accept any of the constructive suggestions which have been made and which will be made in the course of this season? When my honorable friend comes forward and says he is prepared to accept reasonable suggestions, then will be the time for him to ask us not to indulge in destructive criticism. Now, sir, I have got a threefold objection to this budget. In the first place, I fail to understand why my honorable friend should have thought it necessary to provide for revenue for a period of 18 months. When he framed this budget, it must have been done on the facts and figures as they appeared to him sometime at the end of August, that is to say, within 5 months of the financial year. In those 5 months, he found his previous estimates out by a very considerable sum, something like 20 crores of rupees. What is there to show that within the next 5 months, which remains in the financial year, his estimates may not be completely upset and a different aspect put upon things? 20 crores deficit was shown in the results of the first 5 months of this year. Since then, a change of worldwide importance has taken place in the financial situation, and that is the going of the gold standard on the part of Great Britain. The effects of that great move have been noticed already in India in a substantial measure. Cotton has appreciated by something like 50 rupees. Jute has improved substantially. Rice and other commodities have also gone up in value considerably, and there is an all-round buoyant feeling due to the fact that we are no longer pegged to a high exchange. How can the finance member at this stage say that within the next 6 months or 12 months the position of India will be as he found it in the first 5 months? It may change in a remarkable way. Assume for a moment that it does not change for the better. What happens? There is the budget season in March, and the finance member will be able to come forward before us and say, well, I am sorry to have to state that the financial situation has not improved and I shall have again to provide for a deficit budget and to impose taxation to balance it. I therefore cannot agree to his providing for a revenue for a full 18 months when the next few months may be full of very great possibilities. After all, we do not know what cuts in expenditure may be possible during the next few months, and it may well be that the finance member, by imposing this heavy taxation, is providing for a large surplus at the end of 18 months. We may be right, and it is possible that we may be wrong in this view, but after all, there is no earthly necessity for his coming forward at this stage to impose upon us taxation for the next 18 months. My next objection is that the retrenchment carried out is inadequate.